Africans, listen to me like Africans, and non-Africans, listen to me with an open heart. These are the words of Fela Aníkúọlá Kuti of blessed memory. And these words are still very much valid. To all African people, make sure you spread this message, because the understanding of this video you're about to watch is the key to the solution of all your problems, to the solution to all your miseries, subjugation, exploitation, intimidation, harassment, racial discrimination. I must tell you that the experience of an average black man is relatively the same, cutting across the entire universe. They treat and subject African people, black people as they call it, men and women of color, as though they want nothing. The issue of racism, the issue of exploitation had been the order of the day whenever it got to do with a black man or woman. It didn't start today. But before I go further into the message I want to bring to you, I want you to listen attentively to this very narrative with respect to the issue of COVID-19, vaccination, and the rest of them. I'll be right back.
Consider the fortune of the person who, in effect, invented vaccination, introduced vaccination to America in 1721. That has to be the biggest fortune in the history of medicine, right? The pharmaceutical industry has produced many gigantic fortunes in this country, notably the fortune created by Robert Wood Johnson and his brothers in 1885 when they started the Johnson & Johnson Company, which has produced many products that have saved lives and led to the creation of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, which has done many good deeds. And that fortune has provided for generation upon generation of some members of the class that used to be known as the idle rich. The person who introduced immunizations in America was born into a caste that was not allowed to profit from his wisdom, from his genius, or even from his labor. He was a slave owned by a minister in Boston, a slave who saved lives in Boston during the smallpox epidemic of 1721 when he described a procedure that he had undergone in Africa before his life was stolen from him on a slave ship. Pulitzer Prize winner Isabel Wilkerson tells this story in her new book, Caste: The Origins of Our Discontents. Quote, people in West Africa had discovered that they could fend off contagions by inoculating themselves with a specimen of fluid from an infected person. That is the knowledge that slave brought to Boston in 1721, where he saved dozens of lives because of one doctor who decided to try that method that the slave described. 30 years later, vaccinations based on that method, introduced by a slave, became the standard practice in Massachusetts and eventually the rest of the country. There is no charitable foundation named for that slave. His descendants were not born into lives where work was optional. The life-saving gift he gave us did not even earn him his freedom.
You heard it from him. This is an explicit expression of what a black man or woman have been experiencing. Denial of their invention, deprivation to benefit from their efforts, from their resources, and from their sweat. African people have been subjected. African nations have been subjected, not even people, to the point where they are only good to be milked, to be used. And that is the truth. And we have wailed, we have cried, we have lamented enough. We owe it as a duty to our generation and that of the generations that are yet unborn to reverse this trend. Nobody would do it for us. We got to do it ourselves. That is why on this platform I always say we Africans must fix Africa. And it begins with leadership. The leadership of African countries are the worst ever. They are not patriotic to their people. I understand what happened. The balkanization of African territories. They call it Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885. Where they smashed African boundaries and pitched divide and rule among us. That is why I always say that we have to dismantle the boundaries of colonization if African people must experience true freedom. And we must respect each other and our values. We must return back to African civilization. That is the hope of humanity. You know, this COVID-19 madness by Western dominating countries and supremacist global economy and the rest of them, the new world order. Let me tell you, it is not a conspiracy theory. It is a fact we are all seeing. The way the world is going, very good. We all embrace and enjoy technological advancement and innovation, scientific discovery. All of that are wonderful. I appreciate it. But the way the world is going, the world is drifting away from natural living, an inhabitant of this earth. Humanity is disconnecting itself from nature. The only hope is Africa. Today, everything, even down to what we eat, is manufactured, is artificial. Africa is the last hope. We have to come back to Africa. We have to fix Africa. We have to maintain African civilization. If there is none, we start it again. Going back to agriculture, going back to nature, going back to our roots. We have our own civilization before colonization. What we're talking about.
Farm is the basis of civilization. It's the basis of food. It's the basis of security. And then Allah Jurebani, I'm happy. I say, oh, in Arachoni, Ugre Megane, Rachare. Our Mahapola, Allah needed ever. The Fulani Bia Warrior, Agika, you Agiko. China, Momba, Mokula wine, oh my kind. And he may import tomato from anywhere. And he may import onion from anywhere. He may import cassava from anywhere. He may import yam from anywhere. We can produce all we need and export to the world. So go with the dream of Alibo Development Foundation. That's where we want to start We moved away from all the theoretical things. So we have a problem but now is the time to march forward practically. Beginning with the most pressing problem of our people, which is food security. Food security. It's a shame that apple gets Shinubunabia, a shame that tomato gets Shinubunabia, a shame that yam gets Shinubunabia. It is a shame. That will not happen. We believe in the next 1 year, ADF will move the Igbo nation, will cut food importation by 50%. Within 2 years, there will be nobody importing food in Ali. That is our dream. We just want to start with this miniature base here. With this miniature base here, before long, it will envelop Ali Bonile.
All right.
Chile, that is our dream.
Okay. As you can see, talking about the agricultural revolution in Igbo land. Like I promised you, this is just the beginning. I'm just bringing to you one after the other what is already on ground. All I want African people to do, take this message out there. It is time for young people to sit up, get involved with agriculture, get involved with local fabrication. Let Africans start producing what they need. Stop exporting your economy to China and to the rest of the world. It is bad enough they have taken our resources. It is time for us to match break and stop it once and for all. This is the message I am persuaded to bring to you. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I'm an Igbo man and a Biafran. And this message is for the entire African race and nations. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share this video. Let everyone get to see it. Drop your comment. Let me have your opinion. And I'm signing out. But not without telling you to subscribe, like, and share. Stay safe.